Does your portaband seem to have a wobble? You might need a new blade pulley. The blade pulleys might be more commonly called blade wheels. They are the two wheels on your saw that the bandsaw blade rides on. Each wheel has a tire for traction, so the blade doesn't slip. One common problem with the wheels is damage caused by contact with the blade if the tire is allowed to wear out. The wheels have two bushings in them that act as bearings between the wheel and the shaft. If these bushings are allowed to completely wear out, the shaft will wear into the wheel. Replacing a blade pulley is a repair that you can do yourself, and I'm going to show you how. I'll begin by removing the wheel. This process would be the same on the rear wheel or the front. First, the hub comes off. Under the hub, there's a retaining ring. I'll remove that. Then a nylon washer. And now the wheel will just pull away from the saw. Because this tire is practically brand new and has had very little use, I'll remove it and we'll use it on the new wheel. If the tire was worn, you'd probably want to replace it. The next step is to remove the bushings inside of the wheel. These bushings act as a bearing between the wheel and the shaft. There's a couple of ways to remove these, and either way will require some special tools. If you have a bearing press, you could just simply press both bushings out the same side of the wheel. Either side, it won't matter. Another option, and the one that I'm going to use, is to use a blind hole bearing puller. The way this works is I insert the puller through one of the bushings and then tighten up the center shaft, and that expands it out. Then I attach the handle, and I'll use the handle to pull the bushing out of the wheel. If you don't have either of these tools and don't see any use to purchase them, you can always just go ahead and replace the bushings. Also, inspect the bushings before you remove them. If they're worn out, you'll just want to replace them anyway. So I'll go ahead and pull out these bushings now. Now I'll remove the second bushing. Now install the bushings into the new wheel. Again, the easiest way to do this is with a bearing press. If you don't have one though, you can use a socket and a rubber mallet. I'll line up the bushing onto the wheel. I'm going to use the mallet and just get it started. Now I'll take the flat side of the socket, place it over the bushing, and press the bushing in by hitting the socket with the mallet. I want the bushing just flush. That looks good. And the same process for the second bushing on the other side of the wheel. With our bushings installed, now I'll go ahead and replace the tire. I line up the cogs on the wheel with the grooves in the tire, and then slightly pull the tire into place as I work it around the wheel. Just stretching the tire so it lines up with the grooves, or with the cogs. Now I'll install the wheel back onto the shaft. Because this is the rear drive wheel, I'll need to rotate it around so the wheel lines up with the drive pulley below. You won't need to do that on the front wheel. Next comes the nylon washer and the retaining ring. And I'll finish up by replacing the hub.